good afternoon, good evening to all my wonderful and beautiful little subscribers out there. And how I love you all so, and I hope that you're all super duper well, super duper wonderful, and super duper delicious. And the life is treating you most deliciously. To who it may concern, please keep a handle on it. Now then, my delicious babies, so what's the time, Mr. Walsh? So it's 4:13 p.m. in our old England, my delicious little babies, okay, and it is the evening time, and we have a little bit of blue sky. It's starting to go a little bit duller now. Well, what's the point of the blue sky if you cannot have it in the day? Anyway, just a question. Anyway, my delicious babies, so I've got some songs today, my delicious little babies. And yes, I do know, little buggies, what you're up to. There we are. Okay. And I also know that at the end of the day, what the crack is, what you're doing. Okay. Just joining the dots. I already know. Okay. So, just here's a very bit of good advice to who it is. There we are, out there. There we are. And you know who you are. Yes, you do. Okay. And I know who you are. There we are. I've known a long time. Okay. And I know what you're part of. There we are. Okay. So here's the thing. The best thing to do is not to get anybody to dial my number at all. That's the best thing that you can do, isn't it? Whether you're doing it for, there we are, data or whatever you're doing, just stop what you're doing, isn't it? Remember, there's T-shirts out there where they have that stop sign. Okay, there we are. And I'm just done telling it. Now then, my delicious little baby, so I have a number of songs today, my delicious little babies, okay? Because I feel, you see, I do not play music. It's very rare that I ever play music these days, my delicious babies. But I found myself, I thought, you know what? I thought I was just in the mood for playing music. But anyway, there was one song that was playing in my noddle for the past couple of days. And the song is She Makes My Day, okay? She's all loving at once. Right, okay. When I listen to the lyrics of the song, okay, my delicious babies, I've known this song for decades, but what it is, it sounds like she's all love in the woods. She's all love in the woods. But when you actually read the lyrics, it reads, she's all the loving at once. She's all loving at once. She's all loving at once. Do you see, there we are, how a song can come across, my delicious little babies, Kai? But I had it in my noddle for 2 days. Woods, I'm going to stick by Woods anyway. But the actual song is she's all the loving at once. Okay, my delicious baby. So very important there. 1988. Okay, my delicious babies. I was 15 at the time. 15. Anyway, my delicious babies, now what I also want to talk about, anyway, let me just get these songs out of the way, then I want to talk about something else, my delicious babies, just before I'm over and out, okay? Now then, so we got the first one. They're all on YouTube, my delicious babies, because they're music, okay? So this one here happens to have 243,000 subscribers, my delicious babies can. And the uploader is called at capital R round, then capital M midnight, then capitals TV. So it should read at round midnight TV. That's the uploader, my delicious babies. And this song was so beautiful because, see, what happened was I was listening to one song on YouTube. Then what happened was, then I was led to other songs. Now, some songs I knew, actually, I knew all of them, but it's the way it sort of went. Because I'll repeat again, it's very rare that I ever listen to music these days. That's not what I said previously. What I'm saying to you is I do not listen to music very often these days, okay? So I just thought it, and this is what my stepdad, he wasn't with my beautiful, I love her so, my beautiful dear little mama bear. This is somebody who, when I left home and everything like this now then, and anyway, basically, this dear beautiful, I love him so, not in that way, not in that way. He took me, there we are, under his wing. Okay, and never forget, never forget. And everything, there we are, that he done for me, I'll never forget that either. Okay, so he was not my I love her so, my beautiful dear little mama's bear, unsignificant other. Okay, Martish babies, don't get me wrong. I mean, he provided for my beautiful dear little mama bear. Yes, there we are. Yes, he did. He provided. Yes, he did. So went to work all month, you know what I mean? And, paid the bills, did everything, you know what I mean? Okay, but I certainly would not put him in the same class as, there we are, this dear gentleman who took me under his wing. Okay, and it was all by accident how it happened, but there we are. But what a beautiful thing it was, because there we are, he was such a beautiful dear gentleman, would never touch a hair on my head, do you see what I mean? But my dad met him once, my dear dad met him once. I feel it was probably, there we are, a bit of a bitter moment, if you know what I mean. My delicious babies, you know what I mean, considering I left there we are, so young. Anyway, my delicious little babies, anyway. He didn't seem to be, my dear dad, too accommodating to somebody, there we are, who was trying to help me. But anyway, but I'll always love my dear dad. It's just that I just wish that he would have got to have known this dear gentleman. There we are. There we are. That's all I would have wanted. Do you know what I mean? At least to give thanks, to say thank you, for helping his daughter. But anyway, things like that do not happen, do they, Martish babies? Well, sometimes they do, but not very often. Anyway, just joining dots. Anyway, so that's the first song, Martish babies, and my stepdad, bless him, he used to sing, "What a wonderful world, do 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 do." Well, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. But he had the exact voice, my dear stepdad, the exact voice. Okay, and he just sang it straight off. Look at that, look at that. Oh, so beautiful. He was nearly 90 when he passed away. Bless his beautiful, dear little soul, Oh, I'll always love him. I went to go and see him in, anyway, don't talk about that no more. Right, now then, my delicious little babies. So, the next song, my delicious little babies. So what happened was, on the old YouTube, it was, it was like, And there were other songs coming up, and I thought, bloody hell, so I haven't heard these for decades, forever. And this one here is called, the reason why I write these down, there we are, Marzish Babies, is number one, to look at the video. There we are, very important, you know, for the ones that have videos. And the other one is to, obviously, well, what's more important, lyrics or video? I'd say both. So this one here, My Delicious Babies, happens to have 500 and 2,000 subscribers, My Delicious Little Babies, okay? It's all right. My cousin's off work today, My Delicious Little Babies. He's suffering a terrible cold and cough and everything. He doesn't seem to be feeling himself at all anyway. He's had some hermit soup and, proper buttered toast, but then later on he goes and orders a takeaway of fish and chips. Anyway, My Delicious Babies, sorry, was it chicken and chips? Sorry, was it? Not that I'm having a go, I'm just saying that, you know what I mean? The whole idea is, there we are, to get yourself better. Now then, My Delicious Babies, getting back to this matter in hand now with this song. So 502,000 subscribers, My Delicious Babies. This song is called, okay, you're going to have to type it in because I forgot to, no it isn't, no, this is the uploader. It's called Faithless. That's the uploader, My Delicious Babies, on YouTube, Faithless. And the song is simply called Simple Things, Insomnia. And when I looked it up on DuckDuckGo, it come up as 1995 to 1996 when it was released. Okay, My Delicious Little Babies. Now then, there's certain songs that I'm mentioning here that for some strange unknown reason, I think that was one of them as well. Okay, My Delicious Little Babies, because the reason why I'm saying it, just joining the dots again, is because some songs, when I DuckDuckGo it, it'll give you the information straight away. Other times, what it tends to do, but it never used to do this before I started my YouTube channel and started mentioning, there we are, DuckDuckGo. It never used to do this, okay? There we are. You found so much truth, there we are, on there, okay? It was just, there we are, unreal. But these days, they've got well in with it, okay? There we are, okay? So they've bought somebody else now then. Do you see what I'm saying? Long time, okay? So therefore, there we are. All strong across here, and yet my room's warm. Okay, My Delicious Babies, I've known a long time what they've been doing, like 404 not found, you know, and everything like this. Now then, I could mention something a couple of hours later, 404 not found. So they got into their effing net as well, didn't they, My Delicious Babies? Like they get into effing everything, but guess what? You see, they think that the net is closing in on us, but actually it's not. The net, there we are, for even say it is closing in on them, isn't it? There we are, and that's what they're doing, Anyway, let's just proceed with what I'm saying. So this one here, Insomnia, please look at the video to it. Okay, there's a point, there we are, ding, ding, dong, dong to everything that I do. Okay, My Delicious Babies, like I said, today was just a day just to play music, but for 2 days I had She Makes My Day, okay? So to somebody out there, there we are, this means something. I do not know who it is. It's just what I had playing in my noddle for 2 days. Okay, My Delicious Babies, now then. And usually, there we are, there's always a reason. Okay, you only have to read the lyrics to She Makes My Day. Okay. Now then, sorry, excuse me, My Delicious Babies, the next one, I'm going to have 14.8 thousand subscribers. I do believe this one uploaded latest video 2 weeks ago or something. Anyway, but these videos are years and years old, and for a lot of these, what I'm advertising, these videos were uploaded years ago, anything from 10 year ago to 16 year ago. Okay, my little babies. So this one here is called, I need to spell it out to you, capital M, make, capital T, but I put a J there for some strange reason, but a T. Tiesto, I'm going to spell it for you, Martish babies. Tiesto. And then capital G, great, and capital A again. So I'm just going to repeat that for you. This is the uploader. Make Tiesto great again. Yeah. The video should read Robert Miles, official 1995 UK version. Yeah. This is about a little blonde bear, little baby in a car. Martish babies, just please, just anything what I mention, okay? This is why my videos do not get out. I'm not bothered about subscribers. I couldn't give a fiddler's. I'm not going to swear on my video. Fiddler's F about subscribers. I couldn't give a shout, quite frankly. Doesn't bother me at all. Okay, I'm not bothered one bit. What I'm interested in with the ones who can see and the ones who can hear is to get, there we are, the information, there we are, the information out. That's my only, okay, Mardish babies, this is why I get so damn frustrated sometimes, Mardish babies, there we are, I can feel it coming on, so I'm just going to calm myself, right? Now the next one, my delicious little babies. So this one here, so that's that video and music. Now the next one, my delicious little babies. This oh yeah, hadn't heard this forever either. With a soul without a heart, I'm missing every part. Gosh, I hadn't heard that song forever. And yet, you know, just going down, anyway, it all means, okay? So this uploader here, Mardish babies, okay? When you hear it, there we are, you'll know it. Okay, Mardish babies happens to have 764,000 subscribers. When I DuckDuckGo'd it, 1991. Okay, Mardish babies, and the uploader is called do forgive me, it's all lowercase, massive attack, 2 words into one, Mardish babies, massive attack, okay, unfinished sympathy, there we are, okay, Mardish babies, this is another one. When I looked at DuckDuckGo, it wasn't so, let's just say, so giving, do you know what I mean, Mardish babies? It's like Google, you know, they're little effers, man. Do you understand what I mean, Mardish? The babies, okay? Well, it seems that they seem to have got into, very sadly, you know, intertwined somewhere with DuckDuckGo and everything. So before that, I repeat once again, I could get any kind of information. There we are. All the things going on in Africa, everything I could find out. And then there we are. You soon see the truth now then. As soon as I started mentioning, there we are, on YouTube. Okay, Mardish babies, they got into these. There we are. They've done it with all of them. Okay. This is a very, very, very putrid and nasty web, but guess what? There we are. We are untangling it. Okay, so it might look this, that, and the other, okay? Left, right, back, front, up, and down, okay? There we are, but we are untangling it, okay? And we're cutting the ties, we cut. You know, just like the Fate Royal family, you know, when they go to different places, you know, just like the putrid effing Queen of our old England, Mardish babies. And that was her work for the day, just getting a large pair of upholstery scissors and clip. Okay, Well, guess what? We don't need all that fancy shart. What we're doing is we're cutting the tars. There we are. Turtle. Okay, there we are. Martlish was the kai. And there we are. They're soon finding out, isn't it? This is why they're pushing everything. Let's proceed. So the next one, Martlish is the kai. Interesting. All the videos, there we are. It's so amazing. And thank the dear, not in that way, not in that way. Bless all the dear, there we are, uploaders, there we are, for leaving the videos up. Okay, there we are, so one can see, isn't it? They can see and they can hear. For bless the beautiful dear little souls who can see and hear, and bless our beautiful dear little souls who very sadly cannot. The next one, Marzish Babies. I hadn't heard this one forever either. Blooming heck. This was something else. What was going on today, Marzish Babies? It was like I was meant to do it. Okay, there we are. Marzish Babies. It's like today was meant to be the day for whatever reason. Anyway, but can I also please say to our lovely dear David Ark, with anybody not in that way, our lovely dear Jamie Gareth Ark, they're beautiful, dear Mama Bear. I never needed to stumble there. I am so very sorry, and it happens to be the anniversary of dear David's and dear Gareth and dear Jamie's sister Kerry's anniversary today on the 11th of December 2025. So, bless everybody's dear heart, and my thoughts are, there we are with you. Okay, yeah. Bless the beautiful dear little soul, such a beautiful dear lady, not only in looks but a very beautiful and wonderful nature from what I could hear and see. And yeah, you find the wicked in the world, like the wicked little evil no good bees, they tend to roll them out until they're about 102, don't they, Marty's Babies? Was that not like Kurt Douglas? Was it Kurt Douglas or something? I don't know. They seem to be rather similar, didn't they, Marty's little babies, you know what I mean? So it just came into my noddle just this second when I just said that. Anyway. This one here, Mardish Babies. So, sorry, I must just say, dear David, dear Gareth, dear Jamie, not in that way, and your dear little Mama Bear, and dear David, your dear ex-wife, my heart goes out, there we are, to you all. I just want to say, there we are, I just want to say that, okay? And thank you. Now then, this uploader here, Mardish Babies, happens to have 1.32 million. Well, I've never seen this. Anyway, I've not seen none of these Mardish Babies, okay? It's just what's came up, okay? When I DuckDuckGo'd it, this was 1994. Again, it's like it doesn't want to tell you. Do you know what I mean? It's like you have to, and then you click on something, and then it says, we want your cookies. So I click back off again. Okay, Mardish Babies. And then I try to find something that's going to give me a bit, there we are, of information. Do you see what I mean? I'm trying to avoid the cookies at all costs. Do you understand what I mean, Mardish Babies, anyway? So this one here, the uploader on YouTube, okay, is called Yusu Endor. I'm going to spell it for you, Mardish little babies. Y for Yankee. O-U for umbrella. Plenty. There we are under the brilla. Okay. S-S-O-U. So it's Y-O-U-S-S-O-U space capital N, then lowercase D-O-U-R. That's the uploader, Mardish Babies. Yusu Endor or Endor. Okay, Mardish Babies. The song should read Yusu Endor 7 seconds. Okay, Mardish Babies. Now, for those of you who do not know. It's only when I clicked on it, I'll tell you what, after all these decades, okay, and I says, yeah, bloody hell, I remember that as well. Do you see what I mean, Margish Babies? Anyway, that's that one. Next one. Because we've got Robert Miles, haven't we? You know, Robert Miles. I think he's passed away, hasn't he, Robert Miles? You know, to do with children, wasn't it? Not Robert Miles personally. When he did a song, it was where is it? I've done What a Wonderful World. No, I haven't. No, I haven't finished that yet. My babies. Robert Miles and yeah, children, wasn't it? I'm pretty sure. Is that the same one as Robert Miles here? Official 1995 UK version? Could be. Make Tiesto great again. You know what I mentioned earlier, Martin Babies, yes. I don't know, for some reason I wrote it down. There we are, down twice. I'm sure. Now then, my delicious babies. So the next one you've got happens to have 13.7 million subscribers. And I took the liberty of listening to this twice. Not that the others are not important, but I did notice that with this particular group that not long after that, you never really heard a lot about them, really, my delicious babies. And the you know, the uploader is called capital T, the capital B, black spaces, capital, no, it isn't. It's a lowercase e, I'd, and then space, P, P's. So the uploader is called the Black Eyed Peas, spaces, my delicious babies. And the song Simple Things is called Where Is the Love? Yeah. But I did notice not long after that, I remember all this, and not long after that, and when I look at the other uploaders, my thoughts now, going back with my noddle, I thought, yeah, you never really heard much about them. You know what I mean, Martish babies? You never really heard much about them anymore. You know, some branched off a bit, you know, and did other things or whatever. But it's almost like, there we are. They wanted, there we are, to break the chain. There we are. Do you see what I mean, Martin Babies? And I absolutely adore that song. There we are, because it is so damn true, isn't it? It's like our beautiful, dear little Michael Jackson. You know, heal the world, make it a better place for you and for me and the entire human race. There are people dying. If you care enough for the living, make a better world for you and for me. You see, but they never really liked those type of songs because it wasn't promoting hatred, like as much as you can get some rap songs over the decades that, yeah, they're telling the damn truth, but the ones that project hate then very sadly bring out the hate into the younger users who are listening to that type of music. Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies? And that's what these wanted. They never wanted anybody listening to help the world. There we are, you know what I mean? They never wanted that because that's not feeding their purpose. There we are. Do you see what I mean, my delicious babies? Anyway, I'm so super duper highly delighted. There we are, that millions more, there we are waking up by, there we are, the minute. You know what I mean? Okay. You never know. We might get even a little bit better with 7 seconds. You know what I mean, Martin Spires? Yeah. The final one, my delicious baby. So yeah, So we'll go to, What a Wonderful World, okay, my delicious babies. And so I went on to DuckDuckGo, and yeah, it's 1967, my delicious babies, with this song. What was really interesting, the little part that I read, okay, so you can find what a wonderful world, okay, on YouTube, my delicious babies. Yeah, you'll see where, videos, there we are very telling what somebody's thoughts are in that video all those decades ago. There we are, my delicious babies, okay. You can see it on the birth race, okay. You cannot hide anything, can you? With a camera, there we are. You can never hide anything. So, you can have imperfections. So somebody could have, say for example, somebody's making me say this now. Somebody could have like perfect eyes, they could look absolutely perfect, or a perfect nose, or a perfect mouth, but there's going to be something else that's imperfect. So it could be the ears, could be their chin, could be their shoulders, there could be something else that's imperfect. So in other words, what am I saying? Nothing is perfect. There we are. Martish babies. No, it's not. Okay. So there we are. Some teachers made me say that. But there we are, for good reason. Okay, Martish babies, for the past flipping about 7 days now, my left eye's jumping. I'm going to hear bad news. I'm going to hear, sorry, excuse me, I'm going to hear a passing or something, because my left eye's jumping big times every single day, all throughout the day. I'm going to hear either disappointment or bad news. I'm definitely going to hear bad news. So I do not wish to be a bugbear, Mardish babies, but there we are. Whenever this happens, I'm going to hear, you know what I mean, Mardish babies, very sadly. But this one here, Mardish babies, getting back to this now then. What a Wonderful World, 1967. What was really interesting is the ones who wrote it, or so, anyway, David Weiss, Weiss, and Bob Thiel. Look at that. So it just, there we are, caught my attention, Mardelicious. It really caught my attention. We're hearing a lot about Thiel, aren't we? Mardelicious babies, where, if you look at the song, it was Armstrong, wasn't it? What a wonderful world. Do, 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 do. Well, I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Okay. But this was also in a film. Okay, Martish babies, wait for this. Good Morning Vietnam. Anyway, Martish babies, so I just thought I'd mention that, okay? Very lastly, I want to talk about my washing machine, my delicious little baby's Kai, and well, yeah. So I got flipping, you wouldn't believe. I got so excited, my delicious little babies, yesterday evening, right? I was flipping, there we are. I was so happy, no joke, so happy. And I thought, you know what? I never felt that happy. So what we're going to do, even though this is a brand new book, Mards Little Baby's brand new book. This is a brand new book today from Pound Stretcher for a squid. Ka-ching! Only cost me a squid. Okay. I managed to get some little pens as well, all different colours. Paint the whole world with a rainbow. Do, 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 do. I noticed with the black pens and the blue pens, they cost a lot more, like £3. Ka-ching, ching, ching. But I noticed with the rainbow ones, they're only 75 ka-ching pence. So I thought, you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to spend 3 squids when I could spend 75 pence. What does that tell you, Mardish babies? But the information, there we are, that I give out on my videos is worth its weight in gold, you know what I mean? But if we're looking at rainbows and that, I'm not talking about our beautiful rainbows in the sky, although we can have a different discussion another day about rainbows. What I'm talking about is different rainbows, like, like 2020. I'm sure that the 75 pence. Ka-ching. Probably cost about £3 or £4. Ka-ching. Do you see what I mean? Seems to have, there we are, very much gone down in price. Margarish Baby shares the sign of the times, doesn't it? Anyway, so I had the washing machine, dear gentleman, out today, Margarish Babies anyway. And I did trust him. And for some of you, you turn around and say, well, how can you just do that? But no, I just, there we are. I cannot explain it. I had a really good feeling. Now, I've only probably, in the whole of my lifetime, if I have to be honest, ever been shafted twice. But it's not for a lot. There we are. It's pennies. Do you know what I mean, Martin? Babies, kind. I feel sorry for those now then, who have said okay to a builder. That's what I was talking to you dear gentleman there about, not in that way, because he's an old gentleman, you know what I mean? And he's a dear black gentleman, and that colour doesn't matter. There we are, but I'm making a point here. When they're trying to put out to do a race in the world, there we are. Well, everybody just gets along with everybody. Do you know what I mean, Martin? Babies, kind of full of effing sharp, man. They need to, there we are, rock and roll on and get in the back and pedal fast, because no one wants to listen to the shit. You see what I mean, Martin? Babies, anyway. And he happened to mention, because I said, you know what? I said I couldn't, because I personally couldn't move my washing machine. I know it sounds really hard for you to understand, Martish Babies, but I genuinely couldn't. Okay? But because you dear gentleman there, he moves them all the time. So I said, we really should get a little trolley, for your back and that, you know what I mean? Because you could have end up with back problems, you know what I mean, Martish Babies. Anyway. And I said, I'm going to feel really embarrassed now, at the back of my flipping mug, because everything else I could pull out, cook out, dry it, everything. And it's all, there we are, spotlessly clean. But I just, with the washing machine. So he pulled it out and I said, well, that's not that bad. And I thought it was 10 years. It's not actually. It's 7. So I said, well, that's not bad at all. I said, I thought it was going to be, there we are, flipping horrendous, but it wasn't. And he said, don't you think so? I said, no, not at all. I used to do a job many years ago, Martish Babies, and I used to go to, bless the dear little souls. I used to go to their homes, you know what I mean? And bless their beautiful dear little souls. Honestly, they were the salt of the earth. But for the small part of the families now who I used to go and see, I used to have to wipe my feet. There we are, on the way out, and I do not mean that nastily, Martin. I used to make sure that I'd done that as my last call, because the second that I got home, I literally walked through the door now, I stripped my clothes off and I went straight in the washing machine, including the shoes I was wearing. Okay, my husband, there we are, they just all went in the washing machine. And then I'd be having a shower and then, get my gym jams on. Do you know what I mean, Martish Babies, guys? So I always made sure, there we are, that was the last stop. Do you see what I'm saying, Martish Babies, Kai? But I couldn't, if somebody's invited you in, I would never ever, and I never looked at them like, like they were horrible. No, I never. Because let me tell ya, I used to go and see some, and they wouldn't give you the drippings, just figure of speech, Martish Babies. They wouldn't give you the drippings off their effing backside, man. Do you know what I mean? And they lie, like my beautiful dear little Kaz is saying, they lie, there we are, like flipping giddy god. Could you understand what I mean, the guy? But I'd go, they're very welcoming. They said, would you like a cup of tea, cup of coffee? And I was just very polite, because I usually had a drink in my car, you know what I mean, like orange juice or water or something, if I wanted a drink of something. But I always bless the beautiful dear little souls, but I always decline their offer. Okay, it's just, but yet They were the most, shall we say, they always made sure everything was there on time. Mads, little babies, no problem at all. Do you see what I mean? Anyway, so that's the washing machine business. So I said, well, I'll be able to get behind it to clean it. And when I looked at the floor, that was the best part, Martish babies. There we are. When I looked at the floor, I thought, you know, because they're just wooden floorboards at the moment, Martish babies. When I looked at the floor, I thought, you know what? There we are. I thought that looks flipping. There we are, brand spanking, flipping clean, man. Do you see what I mean? So when I actually looked at it, I thought that's not bad at all. I cannot see. I was imagining, to be honest, Martish baby, something flipping awful, but it really wasn't, you know. And I thought, well, that won't take me what? Here we are, 15 minutes to clean. Do you know what I mean, Martish babies, kind? But it's just the weight of it. I mean, if you know what you're doing and you do it all the time and you're moving it left to right, you know, we need to get out left and right, but they seem to do it. When you're pulling it left and right, when you're pulling it out, it looks all easy. But I didn't feel so for a woman. Do you understand what I mean, Martish babies, okay? So he happened to tell me, sorry, I need to look at what this, I need to spell it out for you, Martish babies. For the posh ones out there who may cross my channel, you'll already know who these are. I've never heard of them. Oh, I haven't even switched my lights on. 3, 2, 1, my juicy little lights. Thank you, little lights. You're delicious and bright, yeah. Very late in the day, isn't it? Nearly the end of the video. This is called Meow. I'm going to spell it for you, Martin, little babies. M-I-E-L-E. That's the name of the washing machines, Martin, little babies. Now, this dear gentleman, there we are, happened to tell myself, just joining the dots, happened to tell myself, Martin, little babies, that, you know, that these machines, you know, look at me pen, it's red and black, isn't it? I seen a suitcase up there not so long ago, was it so many days ago, which was red and black. Anyway, Martish babies, I'll spell it out for you again. M-I-E-L-E. Now, yeah, we're going to go forward. Why are we going forward? Because there we are needing to deliver a message. That at the end of the day, Martish babies, here's the thing, that apparently these washing machines now, he said, cost up to £1,000. So I took it upon myself, you know, when he went and everything, and I took it upon myself to go on to DuckDuckGo and to type it in, this Miele, okay, to see how much they were. Now, there was one at 1,399. There was another one, even more than that, went into £3,000. Okay, for a washing machine, Martish babies. I think the cheapest one I seen was 799. Okay, Martish babies. Now, what's the point to what I'm saying? You know, like when I say that I know many things, but I do not know everything, Martish babies, okay? What I'm saying to yourselves is, okay, I'd never personally heard of these. Now, if any of you have heard of it, I'm not talking about these poshos out there, okay, who already know about all this. I'm not talking to you, Martish babies. I'm talking to our delicious babies who do not know. Well, I never knew. So if you look at it, we get sold Bush, Becco. That was what was on my noddle when your dear gentleman, the washing machine man, was talking to me now, Martish babies. So we get sold Bush, Becco, Hot Point. What's the other ones? Is there a Toshiba one? Okay. So we get sold all of these. I mean, I don't know. Is there a LG or whatever washing machine? I don't know, okay? But we never hear of these marvellous babies now. Apparently, according to this dear gentleman, what he told me, and there we are, he's well in the know of it, okay, that these last so many years. But when have any of us, mankind, been somewhere like Bosch or anywhere else, or if you go to Argos or anything like that? Well, I haven't seen. Maybe I haven't been looking. Maybe that's what it is. I do not know, but I do not feel so. I've been around for decades, and yet even when I went to larger homes, when I did the cleaning, which was paying for my beautiful little baby daughters, one-to-one tuition, I never ever seen that make. Okay, I'm just saying, I never. I would. There we are. I would have spotted it, but I never seen it. And that's in massive. You're talking some of the homes like 7 bed. There we are, 7 bedrooms, Martish babies. And yet, when I looked at the washing machine, it was an old washer, and it was one of the makes that I've said. So, why is it that I never seen this? So that's something, simple things I never knew. So I'm just being honest, Marge, I just never knew. Very fascinating anyway. Anyway, as it turns out, I was so excited, flip me. I went back to like when I was really little, in the first place I'd ever known, when I was really little, where we lived. And I was so excited, but there was a bit of the part of me that, because I kept saying to myself, well, hopefully it'll get repaired. Hopefully my beautiful little baby will get repaired. But part of me was saying, hopefully, as if something's going to go wrong, and it did. Because even though it appears to be part of the motor, it appears to be something else. Okay, my delicious babies. Anyway, he found a piece of polystyrene, and I said to him, that's under the washing machine, when it was put in. And he said, yeah. And I said, what is that? I already knew, there we are, what it was called. I just wanted to, and he said, polystyrene. I said, that's right, polystyrene. And I said, did you know that with polystyrene, that all of our appliances come in? I've said this months ago on one of my videos. I says, you can actually turn it into glue. And I says, so when one's a paying for super glue, you can make your own glue. And it's, there we are, far stronger, Martish babies. Just YouTube it, you'll soon find out. Polystyrene. Anyway, Martish babies, so yeah. So now the dear gentleman, now bless him, he said he's got to get the part. It's not quite the air motor, it's something else. I bought all my flipping, my comfort. I love Lenore, but I bought my comfort. I bought my flipping coconut surf. I bought everything ready, and I thought, gosh, I've got my load of washing now. And I really want to use my beautiful little baby, but no. So now I'm feeling sad. I really am, Martish babies. You know what? I'm going to go and make my tuna patties now. I'm going to have an early night. I've had a busy day, and I'm really down about it. Because I could have said to myself, which I did, in the sales I get one for $150, but no, something's telling me. Because my dear dad bought it me as a gift, and he bought me my beautiful little washing machine as a surprise. It was a surprise. I never even knew he was getting it me. The same with the television, which of course, I've not watched for years. That's been well gone. Again, my just baby sky. And no disrespect to my dear dad, you know me, but the fact of the matter is, he brought it down as a surprise from Hull. Do you see what I mean? It was meant to be a surprise. He just said, are you in? You know what I mean? You in car? Do you see what I mean? That's all he said. I said, yes, I'm in. And he said, well, I'll wait for a chip shop to open, because you know I love my fish and chips. You know what I mean, Margish, babe, especially from Hull. He knows I love my fish and chips from Hull. Do you know what I mean? He said, well, what I'll do, Car, he said, I'll wait for a chip shop to open, he said, no, get him, and let me tell you, the piece of fish is like that. And inside you get proper fish and the chips and everything. And when he brought it to me, it's that large that I cannot eat it in one go. Like, you can only have half the chips and half the fish, and then I just wrap it all up, put it away for the next day. You know what I mean? Then I'll eat it the next day. Do you see what I mean? My dish, baby. Oh gosh, but it's worth it. There we are. I could do with some now, actually, my dish, babies. Anyway, I'm going to stick to my tuna patties. Okay, there we are, because I'm going to be good. Okay, because it's not fattening. There we are. It's good for you. There we are. And all the spices that go into it. So, you know what I mean? So, at the end of the day, what I'd give to have some old fish and chips, you know what I mean? Because my dad knows where to go. There we are. You know what I mean? He knows where to go. He's a whole dear gentleman. Dear man. Do you see what I mean? So, he knows the best chipper. You know what I mean? Okay? And you can smell it. There we are for miles. You can smell the food. You know what I mean, Matt? Oh, I'm not going to talk about it no more because I'm getting hungry. Anyway, Martish, baby, so I'll let you know the latest on my washing machine. But no, I'm flipping. I'm really sad about it. But something said, it's like I got excited. You know, like somebody gets excited for the fake crimbo. I got excited, like, oh yes, this is really happening. Because the quote I got was, well, it wasn't a quote, that was a figure, 108. So I thought, well, I'll just give him 110. You know what I mean, Martish babies? Anyway, I'm going to have to wait till tomorrow, and he didn't want to do that, bless him. He said he did look up the washing machine that I told him, and, you know, he just needed to double check it, and yeah. Oh, anyway. You know, this always happens to myself, Martish baby. I had a banging conversation with your man there now, you dear gentleman. I did. You know what I mean? I even offered him. I said, look, I said, take the 110. I said, you need to go and get the part. Something, there we are, to my heart, said, trust that man. Here we are. I cannot say that always. Very rare. Okay, Martish babies, but something said I could give him the change if he would have accepted. There we are. And he would have still come back. There we are. He would have done. But he said, no. He said, I'll wait till the job's done, if you don't mind. You know, he said, then, you know, if you could please pay me then. I said, so will you have your... I offered him a few times, says, well, you're on your last offer. You know what I mean, Martish babes, yeah? But what's the point I'm making? For some of you out there, you probably say, well, she just didn't trust anybody. She just get... No, I do not, actually. That's where somebody does not know me. No. But something, there we are, to my heart, said, you know what, I know if I give that man the change, I said it to him, if I give him the change, he'd soon come back. There we are. I just know. Do you see what I mean? It's like you can tell. But there's probably only been a couple of times, like I said, in the whole of my life, you know what I mean, where you get shafted a bit. But that's only for a few quid, you know what I mean? It's not like... I was talking to you, dear gentleman, there, and I says, you know what? I said, I cannot understand these where they turn around and say, you know, oh, you know, well, I need 50 grand, you know, because I need to do a building job. Do you know what I mean? Don't come back. I mean, who in their right minds are the complete twats? You know, if you saved up that 50 grand or whatever it may be, and then you're handing over the change, well, aren't you a twat? 50 grand. I mean, mine's 110. I mean, imagine others. There we are. How much they've given out, which we've known over the decades, Margish, baby. Absolutely flipping horrendous, man. And then they go on television to complain about it, but they're probably getting a few ka-ching, ching, ching, you know, the donations. Everybody feeling sorry for him to see him make up the change. You see what I mean? You see what's going on in the world, Margish, babies. So there's a point, there we are, to everything what I say. Anyway, so wherever you are in the world, whether it's morning, afternoon, or evening, please have a super duper delicious time. You only get one life, my little honey bunnies. Sending peace, love, harmony, and bright blessings to each and every one of you. May your beautiful little selves, beautiful families, may you all be fully protected. But yeah, the dear gentleman, bless him. I never need to stumble there because he's older, like, you know what I mean? He's been well in the game, so he knows what's this and that. But decent, very decent. There we are, dear gentlemen. He probably never knew. Marge's babies, what to flipping spare a thought to myself. Probably thought, who's this flipping head of woman? You know what I mean? Old fashioned Irish saying, you know what I mean? But once I got chatting now, there we are. He followed me. There we are, good and proper. There we are. He knew exactly what I was saying. You know what I mean? So yeah, look at that mate there, Marge's baby's guy. Like I said, I'll own up. If I do not know a make, I do not know a make. I mean, I'm not one of these like Smeg. I mean, Smeg, that's it. Smeg just came into an oddle. Do you remember so many years ago, everything was Smeg, 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 and that was like, what, £1 or £2, you know, for a fridge? Who in their right mind would pay, there we are, this ka-ching, ching, ching for this? I just do not get it. But he said that apparently these last for years. So obviously who he goes out to, I presume, ding ding dong dong, common sense, they've had theirs for years. So why didn't all of us hear about all these mix? Do you see what I mean, Marge? It's just, you know, just food for thought. Some of you may have done, but for myself, I haven't. So I own up, like I said, I've not heard of it. But it makes, there we are, one wonder, you know. And of course, everything what's going on, the time and everything. Anyway, I'm going to leave it like that, okay? So please, you just look after yourselves. Please try to look after others. Have a lovely show. Thank you so very much for any views, for any likes, you know, and for, well, just for being you. I love you so very much, okay? And you just take care. You probably think, this woman's crazy. I'm not crazy, not one bit. You know what I mean? It's the rest of the, apart from ourselves, Marjorie, it's the rest of the effing world, you know what I mean? It's not us. We just got to keep rolling, rolling, rolling. Keep those wheels rolling. Okay, Marjorie, baby, so much love. We've got to write out, I bought 10 other flipping fake Crimbo cards, you know what I mean? Marge's babies. Well, you know what I mean? It's fake Crimbo, you know. I'm talking about Crimbo cards. Okay, they're not fake. Well, it's all fake, isn't it? But I thought, well, I've got to go and send another flipping 10 out. I thought it was 7. I think it's 10. So I'll send another, I'll send another 10 out. And I do not even celebrate it myself, Marge's babies, you know what I mean? The things that, if you look at it, the things that you do. But anyway, as everybody's known me to do it, so I just do it. But I do not personally celebrate myself. Okay, Marge, but I haven't done it for years, and I have my own reasons why, is what I've explained on my videos. And no, I'm not a Jehovah's Witness. Okay, Marge's babies, I keep well away from those. Okay, Marge's babies, anyway. Love you, take care. Thank you for listening. Good night.